Hey, y'all.
Welcome to RJ Verify, a new podcast focused on all things reproductive justice. Ms. Jones, let the folks know what RJ Verify goals are.
So, RJ Verified, we're going to seek to transform how we understand and advocate for reproductive justice by centering the experiences and voices of Black women and communities of color. And when we're talking about centering the voices of Black women, we're talking about Black women throughout the entire spectrum of womendom. That's the way I like to call
Come on, woman.
it. And through this, and this is going to happen through storytelling, in-depth cross-movement conversations, and expert analysis. And by doing this, we're going to be able to educate, empower, and inspire our listeners to engage with a really robust reproductive justice movement. And doing your movement as a framework that's going to address systemic inequalities impacting health and well-being of all folk, really, but most specifically Black folk.
Okay, so you're getting into some things with this RJ Verified.
Getting into some things.
So when you say cross movement conversations, can you elaborate a little bit on what does that mean?
So one of the things that I live by, or we live by, is that all things are RJ, right? When you're looking at inequality, when you're looking at systems of oppression, when you're looking at those things, when you're looking at things that impact the most marginalized folk. And so a lot of times you'll have people who are doing climate justice work. And they're kind of like siloed into doing climate justice work. Or you may have someone that's doing environmental work. You'll have someone that's doing criminal justice work. And they're looking at this work singularly, right? Actually, that is reproductive justice. And so what we want to do, we want to be a power. And when all people are at the table working together for the human rights and power of the people, then we're stronger. And so it's important that we are leading a conversation or bringing people into a conversation where we're able to identify how all of these things that we're working to dismantle are built on the same systems of oppression. And so ideally, that's what we're trying to deconstruct. White supremacy,
Period.
patriarchy. We're trying to deconstruct that. And so all of the work that folk are out here doing, environmental justice, prison reform, climate control, economic equity, all of that's RJ. And we know it's RJ. And because we are the RJ experts, we put the verified check on it.
Oh, I know that's right. So, in other words, you're saying that all of these other movements intersect deeply into reproductive justice.
They are deeply grounded in reproductive justice because when we keep into mind that reproductive justice was framed on a human rights and social justice framework. And so we're fighting to make sure that people are living free from systemic harm. And that only happens when folk have when human rights, like when people have the full achievement of their full human rights, when we are working to enhance people's lives by making sure that social justice is happening. And so, like, it's all of these things and more. So I believe personally, as we talk about that personally, I believe that the way we're going to change the world that we are currently existing in is using an RJ framework because all of this stuff is RJ.
Come on, liberation.
Right. And we don't want to keep confusing RJ with just a conversation that talks about the ability of our womb. Even though that's a very important part of it because we know that oppression happens when people are trying to control people's ability to or not birth. But that's just not it. That's not the whole thing. And so that's what we want to do. We want to sit at the table and have those conversations with folks because I'll just say this and give it back to you. You do know that if folk are living in environmentally unclean spaces, it impacts childbirth. It impacts pregnancy. it impact all of these things. So you're working on environmental justice, and we may be over here working on birth justice. But here's the thing, it's all RJ, because when people are living and breathing unclean air, living in environmentally not safe communities, that impact what pregnancy look like, that impact what the babies that they're carrying will be when they get here. So you're looking at ways in which not only maternal mortality happens, but also maternal morbidity can happen. So it's all RJ.
So you heard it here, folks. You heard it here first. RJ Verified is going to get into reproductive justice, how it intersects with other movements, but how does policy and Black liberation work within reproductive justice. And we're going to have some amazing guests.
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm really excited about. So stay tuned. Our first podcast will be dropping soon. I believe we're going to be talking about period justice, period poverty, or however you want to frame it. People frame it in different ways, but we're going to be talking about that. So we're really excited about that. So stay tuned. Like, follow this YouTube message so that you can be with us when we kick our first podcast off. But also, back to the guests. I'm really excited about the guests that we're going to be having on, and we will be advertising our guests very soon. But right now, I just want you all to know that this is going to be a very intergenerational conversation. So you have me, gorgeous and 63.
Popping at 63.
Popping at 63. But being really clear about how my 63 years this time on this planet frame and shape how I see the world. And so it's very important that we are talking about the next framers. So we're talking to the next framers and what that will look like. So the conversations will be intergenerational. Tam will sit with me from time to time. And then there are other amazing young folk here inside of this space who will be sharing this space with me. So you don't want to miss these conversations. They will be powerful. They will be popping, and they will give you everything that you need. And keep in mind that it's all RJ, and we verified it.
So you heard it here first. I want you to lock in with us. You can find us at the Afia Center on all social media platforms. Follow our YouTube. Make sure you stay aware because the podcast episodes are dropping, and you don't want to miss this conversation, this continued conversation that's going to be had around all things reproductive justice. You are going to learn. You are going to learn how to advocate for yourself. You are going to learn some stuff that you never even knew right here on our, and it's going to be because who we are. It's going to get a little spicy. So tune in for the goodness. All right, y'all.
See y'all later.